Hey everyone, it's been more than 3 years since I've been doing fundamental analysis of potential stocks for wealth creation. However, many people have asked, Sahil, before we decide to do in-depth analysis, how do we generate ideas for potential multi-bagger stocks? So the first step is to create a watch list of all potential wealth creators. And for that, you need to brainstorm and follow a set of methods to generate good stock ideas. That's where in this video I've shared all my experience and how I personally identify potential multi-bagger stocks. Here please note that if you have 10 stocks in your portfolio, you can't expect all 10 to be winners. There will be some losers. The key here is to build a stock portfolio that generates a great return and keep tracking the stocks within the portfolio to filter out the losers over the period of time and replace them with potential winners. So there are 9 methods I use to generate stock ideas. I divided this video in 2 parts. This is the first part where we will discuss the first 8 methods to generate stock ideas. And in the second part, I have discussed the 9th option, which is stock idea generation using Screener.in website. Please note that in this video, the 8th topic is my personal favorite. So watch this video till the end. I'm sure it will help you a lot in building a solid watch list of potential wealth creators. Alright, let's get started. So the first method I use to identify multi-bagger stock ideas is by observing the products and services I use in my day-to-day life. As a consumer, we all come across many products and services. And if we are using them, then definitely there's something interesting about the company. So here you need to make a habit to figure out the parent company of those brands and whether it is a listed company in Indian stock market or not. For example, within the consumption space, there are many household brands like Maggi noodles, baby food product like Cerelac, Nangro, then chocolates like Kit Kat, Munch, then Nescafe coffee, and they're all part of Nestle India portfolio. And Nestle India has been a huge wealth creator. Likewise, there are multiple brands of HUL like Wheel, Brooke Bond Tea, Brew, Clinic Plus, Close Up, Dove, Hamam, Horlicks, Kisan, Lipton Tea, etc. that are part of every household in India. And HUL has been a huge wealth creator. Then data consumption is one of the biggest trend in India that include Jio, which is part of Reliance, and Airtel. Talking about consumption, alcohol consumption is a huge growth area and there are many popular brands like McDowell's, Black Label, Royal Challenge, Signature, Antiquity, Smirnoff, Captain Morgan, and they all fall under the umbrella of United Spirit, which has been a big wealth creator. Similarly, there are many other popular whiskey brands where you can Google their parent company. Next, when it comes to auto sector, Royal Enfield bike has a cult following and that has been reflected in its parent company Eicher Motors share price. Today there are many vehicles across 2-wheeler and 4-wheeler segment that have created a lot of buzz. For example, one company is Mahindra & Mahindra that has got an amazing SUV product portfolio of Thar, XUV 700, Scorpio and recently introduced electric vehicles. And market has also rewarded Mahindra & Mahindra for the amazing performance. Then we all open bank account with top tier banks like HDFC, ICICI Bank, Axis, Kotak, and all these banks have created a lot of wealth for the investors. Of late, there is a fast adoption of food delivery and quick commerce delivery that has resulted in high growth of Zomato. Then another sector is retail, which is again subdivided into various categories like gold retail chains that include Tanishq, which is part of Titan Group, grocery chains like Avenue Supermart. Then of late, Zudio has become a massive hit and that resulted in massive growth of its parent company Trent. These are just a few examples. There are many promising listed players in Indian retail sector. Then another sector is wealth management firm that include firms like Nuvama Wealth that caters to HNI segment. Then you have AMCs like SDFC AMC, Nippon AMC that offer mutual fund to retail investor. Then brokerage firms like Angel One have immensely grown from rise in interest towards the stock market. We have already done detailed video on this topic. So overall, you just need to look around and identify popular products and services that you use in your daily life and identify the parent company and whether it is listed on Indian stock market or not. The only catch with this method is that you will miss out on B2B business that don't directly cater to you. For example, we all use electronic products from various brands and one of the leading manufacturer of these electronic products in India is Dixon Technology. Then we invest in mutual funds in India, but these mutual fund companies use the services of companies like CAMS. Likewise, when you invest your money in stock market, it is stored in Demat account that is offered by companies like CDSL. So this first method is not foolproof, but still a very good way to identify great consumer facing business. Then second method I use for idea generation is by identifying sectors where government is investing money or giving incentives to grow the sector. For example, over the last few years, government has a lot of focus on renewable energy, where it has set up a target to achieve 500 gigawatt of power using renewable by 2030. Then government has a lot of focus on manufacturing sector, where it has launched PLI scheme that focus around a lot of sector. It is clearly visible from the growth of electronic sector in India, where companies like Dixon, Cames have generated exponential return. Along with that, government also want to reduce dependence on import from China and hence promoting local manufacturer under Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. Defense sector has been a great example of government's focus on Atmanirbhar Bharat. Then infrastructure is one area where government is spending a lot of money across railway modernization, airports, highways and so on. So you can list down all the sectors where government is focusing and identify top listed players in each of these sectors. Here the key is to identify those sectors at an early stage, because once the sector gets hyped, the valuation becomes expensive. We have already done detailed video on top infrastructure related stock, manufacturing related companies, EV related companies, top stocks in textile sector and so on. To identify the next potential focus area by Indian government, I closely follow yearly budget session that happens in the month of February. It gives a good idea where government wants to invest money. Then third method I use to generate stock idea is by observing the global trends. For instance, US and China are going through a trade war for a long time, and this has created big business continuity risk for US MNCs. That's where US MNCs are trying to reduce dependence from China and creating alternative supply chains. For instance, due to multiple tariffs imposed on China, iPhone manufacturing in India has grown multiple times. India is already contributing 14 to 15% of Apple's total iPhone output in 2024, and this share is expected to expand to 26-27% by FY27. Of course, it's also due to government initiatives like PLI scheme. Then sustainable living is a massive global trend. Due to rising global temperature, every country is focusing on ways to sustainable living. India also signed the agreement to reduce emission intensity of its GDP by 45% as compared to 2005 levels by 2030. That's why government has targeted to generate 500 gigawatt of renewable power. Likewise, EV sector is picking big time, and the goal is to reduce dependence on fossil fuel. Plus, recycling sector is growing big time due to government regulation as well as MNCs complying with ESG norms. I've recently done a detailed video on top recycling stocks in India. Then Indian textile sector focused on US market can also be a strong beneficiary of China Plus One trend. Then there's a growing trend of travel and tourism. Especially post-COVID, travel and tourism boomed big time and has resulted in massive growth of hotel companies, airlines, amusement parks and so on. So the point is to keep an eye on what is happening around the world. This would help you generate many interesting multi-bagger ideas. Then fourth way I use to generate multi-bagger idea is by following the right set of people. For instance, I closely follow some of the industry stalwarts like Mr. Manish Chokhani, Mr. Ramdev Agrawal, Mr. Vijay Kedia, Mr. Nilesh Shah, Mr. Gurmeet Chadda and Mr. Prashant Jain. I ensure that I watch their interviews on YouTube or read their interviews on print media. It really helps me understand their thought process on the current state of the market, potential investment opportunities and so on. I recently remember I shared a fantastic interview of Mr. Pankaj Tibrewal from Ikigai on my YouTube community post. Then I also follow a lot of people on Twitter that helps in generating good investment ideas. Plus, I also keep on discussing various interesting stock ideas on my YouTube channel where I do a detailed fundamental analysis. Then I also share important news in the form of YouTube community post as well as on Twitter around macroeconomic factors like government policies, global trends, etc. that impacts a specific sector and stock within that sector. Not only that, I read a lot of research reports and articles around investment and I keep sharing that knowledge with you all. So if you follow the right set of people over YouTube and Twitter, it can really help you identify a lot of potential investment opportunities. Fifth way I generate multi-bagger ideas is by tracking quarterly results. Once you identify a potential company, you can list down that company and track its quarterly results. At the same time, you can also track companies that are posting excellent growth in its quarterly result. For instance, we are about to end the third quarter of this year and starting January mid, we'll get Q3 result. So you can visit the Screener website and can closely track the quarterly results. Tracking quarterly results also help in filtering out the wrong stocks. Personally, I have created a list of more than 200 companies that I track very closely every quarter, where I read their investor presentation, con calls and note down management commentary and company's progress in Excel sheet. Those who are enrolled in my closed community via weekly video series can access this tracker. This series also includes one exclusive video every week where I discuss many promising companies along with my own investment strategy in terms of which stocks I am buying or selling from my portfolio. For more details, you can explore my website or join button of this YouTube channel. Sixth way I generate stock ideas by reading the brokerage reports. There are many domestic and international brokerage houses and investment firms that keep publishing research reports on stocks and sectors. To access the brokerage reports, you can visit Trendline website where you can visit the report section and can access the brokerage reports. While reading the brokerage report, I don't focus a lot on the targets or buy sell call. I focus on the latest update in the company, key growth drivers, challenges and so on. It helps in getting a decent idea about which sectors and stocks are preferred by top brokerage houses, and that helps in identifying potential ideas for investment. Then seventh method I use to generate stock ideas is by reading financial news. Basically, I followed stock market and economy related topics on Google News that keeps feeding me latest update as per my preference. In case you also want to follow these topics, you can open Google News, search for any topic like stock market and then click on that star symbol to follow it. Likewise, you can search topics like economy and then follow, so that you can get customized news feed. So whenever I am free, I quickly scroll through these news feeds, read a few articles, and sometimes I come across interesting stock ideas. Then eighth method I use to generate stock idea is my personal favorite. It has really helped me identify many multi-bagger stocks. In this method, I track the top FIs, DIs and HNIs. FIs and DIs help me identify good mid and small cap companies, whereas HNIs help me with small cap and micro cap ideas. Here the important question is, there are so many FIs, DIs and HNIs. So how do you shortlist the right set of FIs, DIs and HNIs? Honestly, it requires a lot of effort to understand the investment style, wealth creation history and so on. So over a period of time, I've shortlisted a lot of top FIs, DIs and HNIs that you can see on my screen. Now how do you track which stocks they are buying? For that, you can visit Screener website, go to the shareholding pattern, then click on FI, DI, HNI you want to explore. Or you can visit Trendline website that has a separate section called Superstar Investor. I've already done a detailed 3-video series on top FIs, DIs and HNI and explained how you can access their latest portfolio. It's a must-watch series. Here I want to clarify that shareholding pattern is always slightly delayed. For example, currently we are in December and if you look at the shareholding pattern, it's available till September 24. While the shareholding pattern helps in getting a trend in terms of how long FIs, DIs, HNIs are holding a particular company or whether they are increasing or decreasing stake. But if you want to know the latest transaction, you can visit Screener website and click on market data. Here you have bulk deals and block deals that give you latest buying and selling information. Also, if you look at the shareholding pattern of any company, there's a trade section that gives the latest buy sell information about the company's share. So following the top FIs, DIs, HNIs really helped me identify many multi-bagger opportunities. So in this video, I shared my 8 methods of idea generation for potential wealth creator. If I quickly summarize, it includes observing the products and services I use in my day-to-day life, identifying sectors where government is investing money or giving incentives to grow the sector. Third is observing the global trend like China-US trade war and so on. Fourth is following the right set of people. Next, tracking quarterly results. Then sixth is reading the brokerage report. Next is reading financial news. And last is tracking the top FIs, DIs and HNIs investment activities. Now tell me in the comment, out of these 8 methods, which one do you follow to identify potential wealth creators? In the second part of this video, we will discuss the 9th method, which is how to use Screener.in to generate potential multi-bagger ideas. I'm sure it would be very useful. So stay tuned. And if you find this video useful, do share it within your circle. I'll see you next video. Till then, take care.